Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're having a little revisit here on the tractor. This is a John Deere 950. And what's been going on lately is I'm doing a kind of an overall health inspection of this tractor and fixing things as I find them. And what I'm finding so far, let me show you the key points very quickly here. As you can see, the head is right off of this. The head is corroded and pitted. The exhaust that was coming off this tractor comes off the side of the head and goes straight up. Rain gets in there, moisture gets in there, it sits in the head. So you need to get your heads inspected. My heads were pitted and the fuel injection on them are very questionable. It's gonna require professional cleaning and service. New heads are very pricey for these old John Deeres. I have one laying right here. I'm gonna show you what I got. Let's take a look, shall we? Okay, so here's the heads, and the heads are pitted right inside of here. It's a mess. The heads are flat. The valves, I took out the valves. All you need is a standard spring compressor for valves. You can buy them at Harbor Freight for $10, $15. Valves come right out, rubbing compound, and I reset the valves just fine. So the valves are holding. The surface where the gasket mates on the head itself, the gasket, I have a new gasket. The mating surface is nice and straight and clean. Thanks to the Japanese for using quality steel. So overall, the heads, which are usually a very expensive part of the project, they can become very pricey. $2,000 for rebuilt heads for an older John Deere tractor. So if you're questioning your heads and you aren't quite sure, just try doing a nice cleaning with, there are high pressure injector cleaners now that pump up to like 10 or 15,000 PSI, and they pump a chemical through it, and they clean the heads out, clean the injectors out. Now, as you notice, I still have the bonnet, the hood still off the tractor, and the reason why is because I have a bit of a problem here. Now, this is something you're gonna have to look out for when you start digging into your tractor. Right here, that spot right there right on the front of the tractor itself, bam. That is where your hydraulic pump sits. And that hydraulic pump, it has hard line tubing leaving it. And that hard line tubing, it comes out and runs down the side of the tractor right to, there's a big tank underneath the seat where all your hydraulic fluid sits, the reserve. And mine was very corroded. I got a part of it right here. This is all that made it. This is it. This is where it goes into the motor. This is where the pump mechanism itself, and all of it, the bolts in it were corroded. They wouldn't come out. One of them broke, if you can see there. That broke, and I tried to drill it out very carefully. It wouldn't come out. So, yeah, new oil pump, new hydraulic pump. That's gonna be about $1,500 for one of those. At least the new ones. They're a retrofit. The newer ones are more volume, so you'll have more pressure, more movement of fluid compared to the original John Deere, which is I think 11 gallons a minute, and the new one's 13, I believe. So it'll give you a little bit more in your PTO. Of course, all the tires are shot. I did check the clutch. Now, in order to check the clutch, you are gonna have to separate your tractor. Thankfully, my clutch looked almost brand new. The guy I got this from, he really didn't use it very often. And it sat for, oh my gosh, it sat for 15 years maybe in someone's backyard, in their backfield. That's how the heads got ruined. But if you want to split, you split it right there.
You have to block it up. You put blocks underneath both ends, here and here. And you're gonna have to block it up and then remove the bolts here. And by doing that, I was capable of separating the two halves. And right inside here, this bell housing here, that's where your clutch sits. It's a really simple, basic, old school clutch. I took it out, took it apart, had the clutch in my hands in probably 30 minutes, right? Maybe an hour. Did a quick visual inspection on the clutch. It turned out okay. Oh, that's one less problem. Of course, just finding the parts like the head gasket. Things are getting a little hard to find for these. I believe my radiator might have a leak in it on the top cap here where there's a gasket underneath that. So hopefully I can just replace that gasket. The exhaust is pretty rusty and chewed up. I might be able to reuse it. The manifold for it's still okay. And you know, of course, all the tires are shot. Still worth it though. After I've had it in my shop now for probably a year, and just kind of it's a passion, a passion project. It's all Japanese made. These are made in Japan for John Deere. The 850, the 950, and the 1050. It's just big enough to where it doesn't take up a huge amount of space, but you can certainly put a bush hog on the back of it, and they'll even have they have a lot of range. The gearing in it is phenomenal. You can get up to 25, 30 miles an hour, and a lot of variables as far as speed. Other than that, yeah, you're gonna have some rubber here and there that's cracked. These are little things, and I think that we're moving forward pretty well here. I'm looking forward to seeing this thing start up, so I'm gonna keep updating as I dig in. I'm kind of on the rebound now. I just need to make sure that the heads are nice, that they're pitted, and I might just let it ride. Sure, I would like to get those repaired correctly, and if I don't, I'm gonna lose some horsepower. But you start asking yourself, is it really worth an additional $3,000-$4,000 to possibly gain an additional couple of years and a little bit more horsepower out of your tractor? I'm flipping a coin and saying I'm more than likely just gonna let it go like it is and lose the horsepower and the compression, and that's okay. This tractor, I'm never gonna use this for super heavy duty. It's just for bush hogging, maybe find a small bucket for the front. It's perfect for these kinds of things. If you're on a small ranch or farm, 20 acres, perfect. These are designed specifically for that purpose, the smaller farms. And other than that, I appreciate everybody coming by, enjoying the tractor and kind of the brief teardown. There is one more thing. I might have mentioned this earlier, and I'm gonna mention it probably every time. Go online. Get the book. This is for this particular tractor, the 850, the 900, the 950, and the 1050. This is the technical manual, which is TM1192. If you need to know that, TM1192. This is the technical manual that has everything from torque specs to diameter drawings, every piece you could possibly imagine, and what's supposed to be there and what you may currently have there. I can't recommend that enough. That's already saved my butt a couple of times, because I know for a fact when I go to bolt those heads back down, there's gonna be a torque spec. So just to keep that in mind. Other than that, the rear half is all transmission. As long as you have fluid in it, it's a sealed unit. and it should be fine. You do have a port to add more fluid if you need to, but you shouldn't have to dig into that too bad. If you find one of these and it won't start and you're trying to figure out what to do with it, just grab it and start digging in and figuring it out, and it usually won't be anywhere near as bad as you think. I know when I first started digging into this, I was really worried that it was going to become a multi-$1,000 project, and to be honest with you, a nice set of used tires, a new hydraulic pump, and just put the head back on, and I think I can be $3,000, maybe $2,000, depending on the tire cost, to have this tractor up and going. I'll let you know expenses too as we go on, so that if any of you out there, any of the viewers are also working on one of these projects or thinking about picking one of these up, hopefully you can watch the videos and see the things I'm going through and help you make a better decision. Well, I appreciate the time, everybody. Thanks for coming and checking out the tractor, and we'll keep you informed. Have a nice day.